8th graders. So we just wrapped up our unit exam and now we're going to get into our next topic. Our next topic is going to be the slope and the y-intercept equation. So this equation is going to go ahead and be given to you with some variables. We already know that the variable m stands for the word slope, and that's the rise over the run. If this slope is a -2, a lot of us already know what the line should look like. The line should be going from the left side to the right side downward. And so we already know that. And because we already know that, we don't need to really review that one anymore because we've already had some tutorials, in-class discussions, and that was what had our exam was on this topic too. So that was pretty nice. But now we're going to talk about this other variable, b. This is going to be known as the y-intercept. Well, we need to review where is the y-axis on a graph. The y-axis goes vertically up and down right here on a graph. And this y-axis right here, it says that the intercept is the letter or variable b. And what number right here is going to represent this variable today in this example? It's going to be the number 3. Well, this number 3 is very important on a graph because here's what it's telling me. Let's say that x is equal to 0. Well, let's see what happens when you multiply -2 right here times this x number, and I'm going to multiply it by 0. See, isn't anything times 0 going to be 0? Well, then this is going to turn into 0, and now I'm going to go ahead and add 3. Well, it's important that it says y is equal to this. See, if x is equal to 0, and you put in right here 0 for x, -2 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 3, this means that this y is equal to 3. Well, when x is equal to 0 then, what's y equal to? 3. This is really important because I can put this point right here on the graph. So you see, this is where y is equal to 3. And this is where x equals 0 and y equals 3. Well, a lot of you guys are like, well, isn't that kind of convenient now? Now I not only know that the line is going down from the left to the right, but I know where it's crossing the y-axis. Well, see, that's what the word intercept means. Intercept means to connect or to intersect. Where does it intersect on the y-axis? Where y is equal to this number 3. That's why we call it the y-intercept. Well, let's say that I go ahead and use this shortcut method, just looking at a slope and using the y-intercept. Let's say that I have a different equation. Let's say that I have y is equal to 9x minus 2. If I have this new equation, I can now draw my new line without really having to graph it. You see, the slope is positive. That means my line should be going up from the left to the right. So if you start on the left and you move to the right, this line's going to go up, not down. Well, let's take a look at this new variable that we learned about, the y-intercept. I'm just going to go to the number -2. See, when x is equal to 0, 9 times 0 is going to be 0, and y will be equal to -2. So I already know my line is going to look just like this now. This is what my line will look like for this equation. And this is going to really help us out in the future. We're going to do tables in order to go ahead and graph equations. I'm going to make you go ahead and put an x here and a y here. And of course, you'll put when x is equal to 0, y equals -2. And we can do other points, like when x is equal to 1, 9 times 1, take away 2. We can go ahead and put when x is equal to 1, y is going to be equal to 7. But if we don't want to do all this work, we at least know a quick sketch of what this line is going to look like for this equation. Using the slope, it's going upward, and using the y-intercept, that it goes through the y-axis at -2. These shortcuts are really going to help us out later on in class this week. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys on Monday.